Good morning, students. How are you all? I think you have already done 2 chapters from a book First Flight. Now be ready for the poem. Open an English book, and now we are going to start with the poem Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. Before I start the poem, let me tell you about the poet Robert Frost. Robert Frost was a famous American poet. He was born in San Francisco on March 26, 1874. He wrote many poems. His poetical works increased his fame and honor. The poem Dust of Snow was published in New Hampshire in 1923. The collection gave him the Pulitzer Prize. He passed away in 1963. Dust of Snow is a beautiful poem written by the famous poet Robert Frost. Though the poem is very brief, but it has a significant meaning. This poem stands for guiding a person who has lost all hopes and is very sad. The falling of dust of snow has changed the mood of the poet. The poet was sitting under a hemlock tree, quite and upset, when a crow shook dust of snow on him. This very small incident changed his sad mood into happy mood. So it teaches us that we should not be desperate because there is always an opportunity to change the sad mood into the happy mood. Students, Dust of Snow is a beautiful short poem written by Robert Frost. This poem tells that even a simple moment has a large significance. The poet has mentioned crow and hemlock tree in this poem. Crow signifies his depressive and sorrowful mood, and hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. Before I start the poem, first of all, we are going to discuss about its literary devices, or we can say poetic devices, and its rhyme scheme. As we have already discussed about it in our previous videos, I want to tell you that in this poem we have 4 poetic devices. The first one is alliteration. Mainly it is a repetition of the same letter in 2 different words. Now students, try to find out alliteration in these lines. Yes, try. I think you have got it. Look at stanza's first line. Has given my heart. Here you can see 2 different words are there, has and heart, but first letter is same. So here H sound has been repeated. Now look at stanza third line. And saved some part. Again 2 different words, saved and some, but S sound has been repeated. So here the repetition of S sound makes the line musical. I think this one is clear to you. Now we move to the second literary device used in this poem is enjambment. It refers to the running lines from one to the next without using any kind of punctuation marks like full stop, comma, etc. Will not use this. It will be used at the end of the poem. And this poem is an excellent example of enjambment. You can see not a single comma or full stop is there after each line. And the full stop you will find at the last line. So no comma, no full stop. So this is a perfect example of enjambment. Third one is symbolism. It is an object representing another to give an entirely different meaning that is much deeper and more significant. In this poem, the poet has used three symbols. First, a crow, second, a hemlock tree, and third, a dust of snow. All the three symbols are associated with sorrow. Here, a crow is considered ugly, which brings ill fortune. Second, a hemlock tree is poisonous and has direct association with death. And third, the snow represents hardships. And the poet has used these negative symbols with his dark, depressed, and gloomy mind. However, he used these symbols instrumental to bring a deep, positive change in his mood. Means these negative symbols, they brought the positive change in his mood. But ironically, these two bring joy to the poet. The negative association of the three symbols are in this way replaced by positive connotations, means emotional connection. The fourth poetic device that has been used in this poem is imagery. It means to imagine something, and the images which come in the mind of the readers while reading the poem. This poem is full of visual imagery of winter landscape. It represents the landscape of the forest with snow-covered trees, a crow perched on the hemlock tree, and a lonely traveler passing by. It shows mental state of poet. Now the rhyme scheme of this poem is each of the two stanzas in the poem follow the same rhyme scheme, that is A B A B.